Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here. I'm getting over my laryngitis. My voice is dropping a bit. Round up laryngitis. Look out! So look, we're going to do show 1101 and cover that first or second week in January 2018. An electric week. Uranus is acting up. You know, Uranus is a big deal. In fact, if you're sitting there on the Thursday show, well, Uranus just stopped about 3 days ago for you. So it's electric everywhere. I put my foot in my mouth and predicted a big earthquake. Well, that's my job. So, anyway, Uranus is not treating me real well. This morning, the moon went by. It's scoring my sun at 26 Capricorn, and the moon went by the sun this morning and squared Uranus. This is just I'm back 2-3 weeks before you, and Uranus is still pretty active already. And Olelo, wrote me an email and said, we're no longer accepting DVDs. Whoop! I do everything on DVD. I got all the equipment. And they'll no longer take DVDs. So Uranus squared my sun. So I've been going through a lot of changes over that. And I got some answers. And Uranus did grace me with some wisdom. And I'll be letting you know about some of that as we go along today. But first, let's find out more about what's happening day to day. Let's do the sky mirror. And then we can get into some of these other things. There's Uranus. He's really acting up. Uranus is Aquarius. And the way he operates is suddenly turn the lights off, turn the lights, turn on. The motor stops. Things, electricity, it's electric, magnetic. And it happens zap, zap, zap. Tends to interrupt things. So Uranus is very, very active now. And in all of our lives on the earth. And when that happens, we get a lot of power outages, we get a lot of shakings. The disease of epilepsy is supposed to be the divine disease. I knew a lot of epileptics. They're really cool people. But upshot, a handy van experience. A lot of Uranus people. Everybody who rode a handy van in Honolulu was a Uranus person. They were unusual. They were different. When you see somebody who's doing Uranus really strong, lots of times you'll see this pattern, this geometric pattern like an Arab rug. Uranus is very mathematical. The classic is a plaid shirt. The plaid shirt, with the horizontal and vertical plaids, is a mark of Uranus. So, independent, free-thinking type. Uranus is a bit of a rebel. Uranus is common sense. Yep, he's not into religion and belief and the cultural stuff. He doesn't follow the rest of the pack. He goes off on his own to learn on his own and trust his own common sense. Uranus is kind of a hero. Quetzalcoatl, I've learned, marks my endeavors in this world so far. Very Uranus, an environmentalist, a safety and health training guy. All the stuff I've done has been Aquarian Uranus stuff. It has a certain flavor, and after you learn it, you can spot it easy. Now, he's really active now. He's flooding your consciousness, Uranus. Feel rebellious? Feel individualistic? You got a rash of common sense going on? Well, Uranus just stopped. I usually figure when Uranus stops, about 20 days before it stops, you start feeling it. And it gets stronger and stronger like a bell-shaped curve, and then peaks out like 3 days ago for you, comes down about 20 days. And you see these influences in stuff like the stock market. Now Uranus likes to get people together. Hurricane comes, bang, blows all your shit down. The next thing you know your neighbors. Yes, earthquakes, know your neighbors. It's funny, this glyph is two people. They're not looking at each other, but they're tied together by the cross of matter. This is a union down at the shop. You know, here's all these different colored people and different religions, and they're you know, they don't hang out together except they're at the shop. But man, issues about money and safety, they formed a union and they are strong. So Uranus likes to form unions, and he'll put together the gay people and the lady people and the kids and nobody's paying any attention to the kids. The black people, the brown people, this, you know, there's all these different groups of people, and they have to be tied together in a union. That's what Uranus does. Now you know. And he can also, a union, go on strike. And all my experience in government and Dow Chemical and PRI refineries and Gascom, all the guys at the top, you know, were scared to death of the unions. Yes, they do anything to keep the unions out. Republicans in the government last 3 decades have pretty much trashed it as much as they could. Of course, these are also stuff like communists, socialists. And anytime you get diverse people together to share stuff over the heart, the money and food and shelter and the cross of matter is what this is. Who cares about their religions? All these things are over the circle of spirit. So Uranus is quite a neat character. Could you see him from Earth? Well, if you took some mushrooms with the Mayans and went to a high mountain, and he was tilted the right way, maybe, he rolls along on his side, and he has rings, so the rings kind of could be like a mirror to the Earth. Uranus is very erratic in his behavior. He never, yes. So, you know, if you try to predict what he's going to do, the earthquake happens here. He'll always be a little early, a little late. He likes to surprise. He's won't follow any rules. So here he is. He's in late Aries, and the sun for you in this next week is going from 15 degrees of Capricorn to 25. So at the end of your next week, not this coming weekend, but the next weekend, the sun will be squaring Uranus, and there'll be a lot more problems with electrics and electronics. And usually you twist the plug, whether it's a car electric or a house electric, but when electric stuff and voltage doesn't flow, it's usually always in the connectors. It's right in here where Uranus has trouble. See? Anyway, look at that, it just looks like a dish. Get your TV free from a dish instead of paying a cable company. Eek. Telephone companies. Eek. These are newspapers. Eek. Uranus does have another side. We won't get into that. We're going to follow out what happens to you. I've got the pattern of planets here. I've drawn you up a chart. Remember, it's not your chart, it's the generic chart. And over here, here's Mars. Mars is on Jupiter. Everybody's very macho. The heroes are out. There's all kind of sports events going on. It's a big deal. Wednesday night, Tuesday. What else is happening? Well, you had that dastardly new moon right on Saturn. I mean, that's a week ago for us here, and it's been cold, been gray. It's been gray and drizzling rain and cold ever since. A new moon on Saturn. Eek. So you're in that period now until you get to the middle of January. There's a new moon at 26 Capricorn. You're also in a pretty good full moon, because the full moon trine Neptune. So, you know, Monsanto is skating for a month. The priest, artist, doctor, musicians. Well, anyway, and here's Venus. Look at there. Venus is in sextile to Neptune. There's a dreamy side of love and the young girls and like that. But Venus is still in the morning stage. I mean, when they rise up, see, she comes up early before the sun, so she's wasp star, Lucifer to a Babylonian. She's still dangerous, these girls. What, touch my butt, you'll lose your career. It's a great part of American culture. Hell on, ladies, go for it. Now, what's it like for you day by day? Well, if you're watching the Thursday show, you're down here. Probably the moon's in Leo for you. Goes into Virgo, well, about 9-10 o'clock Thursday night. And Uranus is king right now. On Friday, the moon's in Virgo, and there's a nice trine to Saturn in the morning, so you get real organized. You know, Thursday night you're pretty organized. The moon here trined that last new moon, and trined Uranus. So Thursday night was a lot of enlightenment. That's where you are now, watching the show, huh? More on that later. What you can do is you can watch the show on the internet. You can watch the show on YouTube, just Astrology with Rollin Frost, or on my website, you know, skymirrorastrology.com/TV, and you can turn it on at the same time that it plays in your city, and then you're watching it with everybody else, and you get the same telepathic effect. We got to wean us off this public access stations. They're all folding up, choked in their own bureaucracy, and it's not working so well. So, you want to be more free. You're on a stationing, so you want to be free. And I realized you don't want to be tied one day a week to your TV set at home to watch this show. This show plays on all of your gadgets, all of your phones and iPads and everything. If you can get the internet on any of your little gadgets in your lap, the computer you carry around, you get the internet, you can get the TV show. Yeah. You can get the TV show, and you can play it any time you want, and you can go back and look at it again. Can't do that with a stupid public access. So there. Or regular televisions. No. Wisdom of Thursday night, January 4th. Moon trining Uranus in the new moon point. Okay, Friday, where are we at? Here's Venus. Well, first of all, here's the opposition to Neptune. People are drinking too much. It's around dinner time. Don't do that, because here's Venus. And there's some sweet love and sisters here that want to play. And gosh, you get all drunked out. You might miss the goodies. Friday night is Freya, Venus. Venus is Friday. And here's a nice trine to the sun. Late Friday night, early Saturday morning. And men feel powerful, and we did good, and we danced with the pretty girl Friday night. Didn't touch her butt. So here's Mars. He's right with you. Mars, the little brother, he's got full of testosterone, and he's kind of happy too. This is very social. Mars and Venus and the sun. Wow. Romeo and Juliet, the boss, they're having a big office party. Everybody's really happy, the brothers and sisters. There's Pluto around breakfast time. I got Pluto and Jupiter lined up. Look at that, Jupiter's at 19, Pluto's at 19. This makes for explosions and lightning bolts of truths suddenly. So that's what Friday night and Saturday is all about. Doesn't stop till you get to past dinner time Saturday the 6th, when you hit that square to the new moon. So this is a beautiful time. It's a very beautiful time. You don't want to be out dancing in the streets here, because there's so many wisdoms flowing with Jupiter and Pluto. Of course, here's Mars and Venus and the sun. It's hard not to go dance and be social and feel sexy. Well, Sunday morning, the moon's in Libra, and you're in the shaky zone, because Uranus is in Aries, the opposite sign. So I fixed you up with little shakies here. Now, this is just a couple of days, the most likely days when you're going to say, I don't like Uranus, it's an earthquake, it's a power outage, and this is a likely time when people do that. And they feel kind of scared and closed in with the moon squaring Saturn early Sunday morning. It could be cold and drizzly still. Sunday night, here's the full moon square, the thing that happened to. Yeah, so there's a little light lunacy Sunday. And then Monday morning, here's a square to Venus. Can't get no rest. Nobody's happy. There's no sugar Monday morning. And then here Monday afternoon is the sun and Pluto in square. and there's panickiness, and you're in the Uranus zone. The power went out, and their sirens went on for a while. And what is this stuff Monday night? This is a scary peak in energy that will startle you. So Sunday, Monday, is there shakings going on? Just go around and take all the stuff off the top shelves. You know, earthquakes are, you're supposed to meet your neighbors. If the power goes out, well, you go out and barbecue and invite the neighbors. Go out in the street and do it. That's Uranus. Your neighbors and you will form a union. Nobody likes the unions right here. You mean they went on strike and I can't get on the airplane? Oh, Monday night. This also involves mass transit, like trains and airplanes and buses and stuff, electric cars. Tuesday morning, you're still feeling all the zappiness until just after breakfast, and finally here's a sextile to Mercury. Well, we can communicate and get moving, and then around noontime, here's a sextile to Saturn. We feel organized. We recovered on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the moon's still in Scorpio. In the middle of the day, it makes a nice trine to Neptune. There's some music and regain some faith. All right. Wednesday night, the moon's going to go by Pluto, or sextile Pluto first. And this means discovery. You know, it's very nice having discovery around. Here's the sun Thursday morning. And the whole thing is going by, here's Jupiter and Mars. So we got the moon going by, hitting Jupiter, sextile Pluto. Aha! Now I see it clear. The detectives. I'm a great detective. I looked underneath the surface and there it was. And then Mars, you know, lots of energy. The heroes, the brothers. The boss has to know about this, and the brothers, and we got to do something. You know, that's, yeah. And you make a plan. And there's wisdom here. Jupiter's here. Now I understand it clearly. I see it clear. Zap. So Wednesday night, Thursday morning is zap time. Really nice. I hope you get it clear. Continues the feeling through Thursday, and then Friday night after dinner, the moon shifts into Sagittarius, and the vibes all change. They get increasingly confusing as you go through Friday. Till Friday night late, here's about 9, 10 o'clock, the moon squares Neptune. Music's too loud, drank too much, bad alcohol blues, confusion and delusion. Stay home Friday night unless you just want to watch drunken clowns in the circus. Saturday morning, moon's still in Sagittarius. Starts to get a little better as you go to Saturday night, where that new moon was. It's on Saturn, though. It's sobering, huh? And judgmentals. I mean, all those guys in the suits in Congress redid the taxes and gave them more money, and the rich and their buddies more money, and cheated the poor. Yeah, what'd you expect from Saturn? It all happened right on that Saturn thing. These guys smile and take your money for the next 10 years to give to their rich families. That's what happened. Like a bunch of penguins that just went along, yup, 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 a whole Congress full of yuppies. So you're going to, you know, I'm not happy with Saturn. They're not doing their job. Corrupt institutions. You'll see some of that Saturday night, January 13th. Sunday morning, the 14th, there's more of that feeling of Saturn. The moon's going by Saturn. It's in Capricorn now. So, more serious. And these politicians need to change their color and get more serious because they're not doing their jobs. No. Hey, can we talk for a moment? I mean, really get down and talk. Serious stuff about Uranus. When you look around you and you look at your life every day, the Uranus thing that you use the most is your television screen, or the small little screens that people carry around now, the portable little televisions, the internet, hooray! So, I've had to learn a lot of hard lessons. I want to talk about public access television, okay? If you go read the law, it's a wonderful law. 1-2% of all the cable television stuff goes so the public can have access. And they set up these nice little independent little companies, one on each island. I play with all 4 of them: Hoiki, Olelo, Akaku, and Naleo. And I've done this for 20 years. And it's very noticeable what's going on. The ones with all the money keep hiring new people and buying new stuff, and they make it more and more difficult for an independent public person. This is public access. You're supposed to allow independent people to come and put stuff on television, talk on television. But by and large, they don't. What happens is they wind up catering. They kind of lock out the public in various ways. Like, they won't air old tapes. Here they are, well, we're not going to do any more DVDs. Well, half of Honolulu has DVDs they'd like to air on Olelo. Now they can't do that. No. So the individual has anyway got cut out, and they pandered more to corporate company organizations. You know, on my show on the Big Island, the police have a show just before mine. They show mugshots, and then I come on. Anyway, public access television was a really good idea, and it was applied badly by bureaucrats, by people who got into power. They had nice budgets, and so we began to get all kinds of strange stuff. And let's say, well, right here on my island, the Big Island, Naleo, decided that there's producers and there's presenters, and if you don't go into their office and play with their equipment, you're not a producer, you're a presenter. So they took me, who's been producing TV locally for 20 years, and called me a presenter and downgraded my status so I don't get first call on things and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So they boxed you in by reducing your status. That's what happened on Honolulu at Olelo. They had so many offices and people, nobody using them, so they had to have people go in and use them. So they said, you can't mail in your DVDs anymore, or your tapes. Well, I've been doing it for 20 years. I do it to all the stations. No, you can't mail it in. You have to, somebody has to come and bring it in and pass it over the counter to our employee. They're looking for work. Now, is that sensible? Every week I send them a show, and somebody has to drive to their office and hand it in by hand instead of just using the U.S. mail. My God. So, but they have their own reasons, and all the reasons usually point to making it tough on the independent guy. The equipment gets more complicated. Olelo now has decided they want data discs. They want everybody must be using a computer to do their video. No, a lot of us are still back here in the old dark ages, using tape and camcorders and recorders. But why won't they play our stuff? They don't want to. They don't want a lot of people. See, none of them really want more people on their station. You look at all the stations, there's big bare spots. They're not doing very much. That's the truth of it. And it's bureaucratic stuff. And it's clear to me that what's happened here is I'm being forced to do a lot more ridiculous paperwork. You got to fill out forms. They mess with your status. You know, now Olelo wants data discs, and Maui decided you got to pay $45 to join a club, or we're not going to guarantee your space next year. Hey, that's against the rules, Maui. Oh, wait a minute, you're off island. You're not important. So, you know, discriminating against neighbor islands is kind of silly, but it keeps their workload down. They don't want 50 people coming in and talking to them in their office. They want 3. Upshot is, now here's the other thing. For you, okay, you grew up with television. Right? I had Saturday mornings when I was a kid. You know, the kids' shows were on the radio. So you get used to a schedule. Yeah, you're used to watching this show on Thursdays or Fridays. on public access television station 54 or 53. But you only get one chance. If you miss it, you missed it. Yeah. There's another way. You use the internet. Yes, you don't have to be... I mean, there's a lot to having a nice big a big computer and a TV screen on your living room next to your chair. I got one. They're very nice. And they supply me with a lot of neat stuff. But you can do it now on something you can put in your pocket or your backpack or a small screen portable thing. Any place you go where you could get Wi-Fi, any place you go, or you can get on the internet. You got access to all this stuff. And you don't have to watch it at a certain time on a certain day. Hoiki is the only station that's played it straight and does good work. Of course, they haven't got a lot of people. Look, folks, stop watching this show on public access TV. It's not going to last. And then, you know, I don't know what they're going to do, but it's not going to last. You got to watch the show. You could go to YouTube and just YouTube Astrology with Rollin Frost, and you will get all the shows for the last. You can go to skymirrorastrology.com/TV. That's my website, and get the last few shows, and do it anytime you want. Yeah, anytime you want, and you can watch it over and over. So, you know, what's happening here with this public access has made it very difficult for the public. And, you know, you get an easier way out. Do it. Do it, because public access isn't going to last. See, start now. You got a good Uranus station. Uranus wants you to change over and be more free and more independent. You know, and if you use the internet to watch the show, heck, you can do it any place. Homeless people can do it. So, you know, this is a big thing. YouTube Astrology with Rollin Frost, or go to skymirrorastrology.com/TV and get the TV show. Anytime you want. That's the whole name of the game. And we won't all be burdened with all these ridiculous things. Oh, along with me, I'm a presenter. I got to put this thing on the air, or they won't air it. I mean, red tape, red tape, red tape. Eek. Bureaucrats in charge. It's not going to last, folks. Sorry to tell you.